Debt. Do we share it? Do I keep it? Does my spouse keep it? Who pays the debt? And why in a divorce? The answer to that is the perfect lawyer answer. It all depends. How did we accumulate this debt? Was it a new roof on the house and we're selling the house? Chances are that's marital debt. Is the debt from a vacation that we took with the entire family? Chances are that's marital debt. But wait a minute. My spouse got a full mouth of veneers 3 months before we filed the complaint for divorce. Am I stuck with the debt for the new teeth? What about plastic surgery? Wow, my spouse was planning for divorce and in anticipation of the filing of that complaint, thought they'd see their favorite plastic surgeon and maybe get some work done here and there, a little nip tuck. Am I responsible for that debt? Probably not. Student loans. Wow, I went to school during the course of the marriage. I racked up $100,000 in student loans. What do we do with that? And now many parents have taken out Parent Plus loans to put the kiddos through college. Who pays that? These are all complex questions about who keeps the debt. Do we apportion it? Do we share it? Do we sell the house and just pay it all off? These are all things that you need to work through with your attorney during the course of your divorce. Highly, highly mediated, negotiated, sometimes tried issues in a case is what do we do with the debt? Remember, just like we divide assets, we divide the debt as well. What is the process for identifying joint and individual debt? Well, a lot of this we're on the honor system, sort of. At the onset of your divorce, you're going to complete a document called a case information statement. That document, from my perspective, is the most important document next to the complaint for divorce that we complete because it lists all of the assets of the family and likewise it lists all of the liabilities. Oftentimes this form is the eye-opener. My client had no idea that their spouse had $60,000 in credit card debt or $100,000 in credit card debt, and you're learning it for the first time. So what do? How do we uncover what that really is? We go through a process called discovery, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It is our opportunity to discover what it is that your spouse has or doesn't have when it comes to debt. So we can go through 5 years, 7 years sometimes of credit card statements and really unpack how did we get $60,000 in credit card debt? Where did all the money go? Now, does everybody come to the table at the onset of the case and tell us everything? Well, sometimes not. How do we figure this out? Well, as we're going through the financial records, we see payments to credit cards and we say, where's that card? Where's that card? Where's that card? And then we find out some accounts are closed, some accounts are newly opened. That's what discovery is all about. And lawyers really need to dig deep on asking the right questions in discovery, as well as analyzing the financial records when they come in. I don't want to get stuck with my spouse's debt and I'm getting divorced. What can I do? Am I just stuck because I'm the primary wage earner? Or is there a way to apportion the debt between us? And again, I'm going to give the lawyer answer. It really is fact sensitive, so it really does depend. If I am the only person working in the household and my spouse stayed home and took care of the children, odds are when we go to divide the debt, we're going to have to tap into an asset to pay off all the debt, or I'm going to pay the vast majority of the debt because I made the vast majority of the money. Likewise, if we're both working and we're earning comparable incomes, we may decide to just apportion the debt between us based on what we used it for. So we financed a refrigerator and a water heater, that goes in the marital column. But my spouse bought $10,000 worth of new suits and I spent $15,000 on, some new golf clubs. I'm likely going to pay for my clubs and my spouse is going to pay for their suits. That's just equitable. So while it's very fact sensitive, really drilling down through the discovery process and identifying the source of each piece of debt is critical to the process. Are there scenarios where someone's financial future is decimated by the debt? Sure, that can happen. There are cases where people were living what appeared to be the American dream, and they had everything you could imagine. The kids had cars, they had cars, beautiful home, beautiful furniture, fantastic vacations. And lo and behold, it was all finance. The house is mortgaged at capacity. the parties have credit card debt that exceeds what they both earn, and maybe in that scenario, somebody's filing bankruptcy. Maybe in that scenario, somebody's saddled with all of the debt. People often ask, is bankruptcy a tool that you can use post-divorce to wipe out the debt and reset your future? Bankruptcy can be a useful tool to address the marital debt. However, you cannot, through bankruptcy, discharge financial obligations to your spouse. So, for instance, you're obligated to pay alimony in the tune of $50,000 a year. You can't file bankruptcy and say, discharge that $50,000. Or I'm obligated to give my spouse $100,000 by way of equitable distribution. I can't discharge that obligation by way of a bankruptcy. Think of the bankruptcy at the conclusion of a divorce, or even, well, really at the conclusion of a divorce, as a tool to wipe out consumer debt. Seek guidance from a bankruptcy attorney. It's not always the best scenario, but in some unfortunate cases, it's the only scenario. Dividing debt during a divorce can be a challenge. It's a challenge when you don't know how much debt there is, and you're learning for the first time that your spouse has 6 figures worth of credit card debt. It's challenging if the family does not have enough assets to truly pay off the debt. And it's even more challenging if one spouse or both spouses are contemplating bankruptcy. These are all difficult hurdles to overcome during the divorce, and having a team of skilled attorneys walk you through this process can ease some of the pain.